My name is Brandi, and this is my kitty friend Dot. And she likes this story because there is a kitty in it. The story I have for you today is called Animal Friends. It's a story that my sister and I loved when we were kids. My grandma and grandpa used to read it to us when we went over to their house. It's a little golden book, and it was written by Jane Werner with wonderful pictures in it by Garth Williams. Once upon a time, in a small house, deep in the woods, lived a lively family of animals. There were Miss Kitty and Mr. Pup, Brown Bunny, Little Chick, Fluffy Squirrel, Pokey Turtle, and Tweeterbird. Each had his little chest and his little bed and chair, and they took turns cooking on their little kitchen stove. They got along nicely when it came to sharing toys, being quiet at nap times, and keeping the house neat, but they could not agree on food. When Miss Kitty cooked, they had milk and catnip tea and little bits of liver on their plates. Pup didn't mind the liver, but the rest of them were unhappy. But they didn't like it any better when Pup served bones in his turn, nor when Bunny served carrot dinners, or Tweeter served tasty worms, or Turtle served ant eggs, or Squirrel served nuts. When Bunny fixed the meals, she arranged lettuce leaves and carrot nibbles with artistic taste, but only Tweeterbird would eat any of them. And when Tweeter served worms and crisp, chewy seeds, only Little Chick would eat them. And Little Chick liked bugs and beetles even more. Pokey Turtle would nibble at those, but what he really hungered for were tasty ants' eggs. Fluffy Squirrel wanted nuts and nuts and nuts. Without his sharp teeth and his firm paws, though, the others couldn't even get a nibble from a nut. So they all went hungry when Fluffy got the meals. Finally, they all knew something must be done. They gathered around the fire one cool and cozy evening to talk things over. There they are, talking things over. "The home for me," said Mr. Pup, "is a place where I can have bones and meat every day." "Well, I want milk and liver instead of bugs and seeds," said Miss Kitty. "Nuts for me," said Squirrel. "Ants' eggs," yawned Turtle. "Crispy lettuce," whispered Bunny. "A stalk of seeds," dreamed Bird, "and some worms. That makes a home for me." "New homes are what we need," said Mr. Pup, and everyone agreed. So the next morning, they packed their little satchels and they said their fond goodbyes. Squirrel waved goodbye to them all, for he had decided to stay in the house in the woods. He started right in to gather nuts. Soon there were nuts in the kitchen stove, nuts in the cupboards, nuts piled up in all the empty beds, and there was scarcely room for the happy little squirrel. This is the picture that my sister and I remembered many, many years from the time we were kids all into our adult lives. This funny squirrel with nuts in every possible cupboard in his house. And look, there he is in the bed, sleeping so happily. The others hopped along until they came to a garden with rows and rows of tasty growing things. "Here's the home for me," sighed the bright-eyed brown bunny, and she settled down there at the roots of a big tree. Little Chick found a garden yard full of lovely, scratchy gravel, where lived all kinds of crispy, crunchy bugs. "Here I stay," chirped Chick, squeezing under the fence to join the other chickens there. Well, Dot, are you enjoying Chick in this story? Pokey Turtle found a pond with a lovely log for napping that was half in the sun and half in the shade. Close by the log was a busy, bustling anthill full of the eggs that Turtle loved. Tweeterbird found a nest in a tree above the pond where he could see the world, the seeds on the grasses and the worms on the ground. "This is the home for me," sang Bird happily. So they were neighbors. Miss Kitty went on till she came to a house where a little girl welcomed her. "Here is a bowl of milk for you, Miss Kitty," said the little girl, "and a ball of yarn to play with." So Miss Kitty settled down in her new home with a purr. Mr. Pup found a boy in the house next door. The boy had a bone and some meat for Mr. Pup and a bed for him to sleep in and a handsome collar to wear. "Bow wow!" barked Pup. "This is the home for me." "Yes, this is the home for you, Dot Bear." That night, each one said as he went to sleep, "At last I've found the very best home, the best home of all for me." Dot has found the best home for her, and she is playing on her wheel while she listens to the story. I'll see if I can show you. There she is. She's been enjoying the story, and I hope you have too.